Joining me on the news tonight is a legal practitioner, Romeo A.C. Michael. It's a pleasure to have you join us tonight on the news.
My pleasure.
Of course, this has been a long time coming. The judgment today, some people saw it coming. The drama has built up over time with Nnamdi Kanu saying, one, I wasn't feeling fine, my health. Secondly, I don't want all my counsels to represent me again. I'm going to do that myself. And it's been almost a decade of back and forth. In fact, we've got international espionage in the process as well. How would you sum up, in a nutshell, the whole drama that has trailed Nnamdi Kanu trial?
So thank you for inviting me in. It's quite unfortunate what has really happened. The court is there to ensure that justice is served, and the prosecution, when offense is committed, it initiates criminal proceedings before the court of law and what we call appropriate court that has jurisdiction. So Nnamdi Kanu was charged before the federal court. By the laws, the federal court has jurisdiction to try an offense bordering on terrorism, and he was brought to the court. Expectedly, he engaged counsel, that is lawyers, for his defense. But in the course of trial, I don't know what came on him, and he jettisoned his ex-wife's lawyers and he sought to personally defend himself. By the law, yes, he has the right to defend himself, but looking at the nature of the offense, terrorism, which attracts, heinous punishment, and by law, he should be engaged. He should engage a lawyer to represent him. But ultimately, he sought to represent himself. And if you look at the proceedings that spanned in the course of trial, the judge actually adjourned severally, telling him that he has the right to engage a lawyer, but he refused. And the judge had to ensure that he put it down in writing that he chose not to be defended by a lawyer. And that is, he has waived his right. If he has waived his right, what would the court do? And in that circumstance, it means the evidence of the prosecution are not challenged.
Okay, there are different undertones to Nnamdi Kanu's trial. We've got the political side of things. We'll touch on that briefly. And we've got, of course, the whole terrorism charge itself. But let's look at the political undertone. Some people felt like, especially people from the southeast, feel that he's been hard done by. If it were another part of the country, or if he had come from a different part of the country, it would have been this. Would we say that Justice Omotoso's ruling was primarily, according to him, what they said the prosecution has proved beyond reasonable doubt that they have convinced the court that Nnamdi Kanu is guilty of the charges brought before it? Or is there more to it? Because in the past couple of months we've had, let's use a political solution, let's use a human face to attend to this. Different appeals from different quarters. Yes. How would you describe this? Is it primarily on the basis of the merit of the case, or it's just another political gimmick playing out? Okay,
let me first of all, look into the first species of your questions, that the Southeastern North might feel that if it would be, if Nnamdi Kanu would have come from another tribe, it would have been a different result. But no, look, I've had opportunity to communicate with the Southeasterners, the Igbos precisely, for they are at home with what has played down regarding the conviction of Nnamdi Kanu. Majority of them, they are not happy with all the atrocities that he has committed, instigating violence in the land. Look at Mondays, no movement and others. Majority of them, save for 5%, that are not happy with what has happened. So that is aside. Now, looking at it, yes, he was charged before the court. There was proof of evidence. Witnesses were assembled, and they adduced satisfactory evidence, chronically how he was brought down, I think from Kenya or so, and those the DSS staff who went there to arrest him gave evidence. And even whilst the matter was in court, look at the way he exhibited himself before the court. It didn't show candor. Now the court have looked at the evidence adduced by the prosecution witnesses on the merit, but it is for Nnamdi to debunk those evidence, which he couldn't. And looking at it, the court felt that there was satisfactory evidence, and even the radio background that he brought to Ihala in Anambra State was tendered in evidence. And the court have looked at it and felt that, look, there was satisfactory evidence against...
But the lawyers, his consultant here, say he didn't kill anyone and there's no crime to speak in.
Very good.
Should that have necessitated this very harsh, in his own words, harsh sentences by the court?
All right. Look, if you look at the segment of terrorism, yes, the highest of it is when you actually perpetrated it by yourself. But there are layers. When you instigate, when you cause people to cause violence without you, physically participating, it is act of terrorism. So the court felt that, look, he instigated the members, his proscribed, IPOB, to cause mayhem in society. So on that note, he was convicted. The court found that, yes, he didn't personally carry out the terrorism himself physically, but he instigated. So once you instigate, or you encourage, or you incite by the radio IPOB that he used to broadcast, people listened, and once he gives order and people carry that, he will be convicted. So exactly what happened today.
So beyond the Biafra conversation, Nnamdi Kanu cast a figure, and his shadow looms large, not only in the southeast. Nigeria bears the brunt of whether his actions or inaction. What do you think this judgment will do to our political landscape on one hand, or better still, the administration of justice?
Very good. I was very happy when I listened to the judgment. I took time to listen to the judgment today. And the court actually, in two areas, looked at it that he actually threatened to bring down the embassy of the UK, United Kingdom, and also, I think, the US also. So, and it was an act of terrorism by when you instigate violence against international organizations. Looking at those embassies, the international organization enjoys absolute immunity. And the court felt that by that act, he has committed an offense. And it sends a very good signal to the international community that all the international organizations or their citizens, once they are in Nigeria, they are protected. And the law will not allow them to be affected by enemies. So it boosts the confidence of international organizations or countries that justice will be served in Nigeria, irrespective of who you are.
I want to say thank you very much, Mr. Romeo A.C. Michael, for joining us tonight on the news.